one of the example of the Biot-Savart's law. So in this example, we evaluate the magnetic field intensity on the y-axis. Equivalently, it is nothing but xy plane. So arising from a filament current of infinite length on the z-axis. So you can observe here, the figure is also given x, y, z axis. So current is flowing in the direction. So we need to calculate the magnetic field intensity on y-axis based on the filament infinite length available on z-axis. So using the drawing we can identify based on figure you can see here. So r is equal to r minus r dash. So r is nothing but it is the distance between in the y-axis, and r dash is nothing but distance along z-axis. So for r you can have a rho a rho which is shown in the diagram, and minus z dash a z which is also shown in the figure along the z direction. So now based on this r you can determine unit vector ar, which is nothing but rho a rho minus z dash a z divided by root of rho square plus z dash square, right? So if we get, after getting ar unit vector, which is unit vector, now dh is the need to be calculated. So to calculate dh, it is to calculate dh we need IDL cross AR. So there is nothing but cross product of IDL and AR divided by 4 pi r square. So IDL is nothing but the differential length. So a differential length, it is nothing but DL value is dz dash az, okay. So IDL is nothing but dz dash az cross product, where AR is nothing but what? AR is rho a rho minus z dash az. So divided by 4 pi rho square plus z dash square raised to 3 by 2. So this will give you the dh. Now the example is continued. So we know that dh is IDL cross AR divided by 4 pi r square. So I dz dash az cross rho a rho minus z az divided by 4 pi rho square plus z dash square raised to 3 by 2. Now we need to integrate this over the entire wire. So integration means as it is infinite, so h will be integrated over a minus infinity to plus infinity. So I dz dash az rho a rho minus z dash az divided by 4 pi rho square plus z dash square raised to 3 by 2. Now as after carrying out the cross product from the numerator, az a rho will become a phi. So az will become 0. So az cross az becomes 0. So therefore a phi factor will be considered. In numerator we will just have rho dz dash a phi divided by what? 4 divided by 4 pi is I by 4 pi is taken common, divided by rho square plus z dash square raised to 3 by 2. So this is what we get the value after doing the cross product, right? Now example is concluded here, as we'll get h is equal to 1 by 4 pi integration over minus infinity plus infinity rho dz dash a phi divided by rho square plus z dash square raised to 3 by 2. So you can integrate over this. So if we integrate, I can get a common here, I rho a phi divided by 4 phi. So this is standard formula for the integration. So that is for 1 by rho square plus z dash square 3 by 2. So we will get as z dash divided by rho square into root of rho square plus z dash square over minus infinity to plus infinity. So after doing this, putting the value of infinity and minus infinity in the z value, so we can get I by 2 pi rho a phi. So this is what the value of h which can be obtained for the this z magnetic field intensity on the y-axis, where infinite length available on the z-axis. So next, this is what I is equal to 2 pi rho into a rho, a phi. Okay, next we can see here field arising from the finite current segment. Okay, so in this case you can see the figure there. In this case the field is found in the xy plane. Field is found in the xy plane at point 2. The Bayer-Sart's integral is taken over the wire length. So you can see Z1, Z2 is nothing but finite length where through which I current is flowing, and we are having alpha 1 and alpha 2. It is the angle making between this finite length over point 2. So therefore Z1 and Z2 value are considered as rho tan of alpha 1 and Z2 as rho tan of alpha 2. As previously you have considered, same equation is considered here. I dz az cross product, which is nothing but cross product into bracket rho a rho minus z az divided by 4 pi rho square plus z square raised to 3 by 2. So here after integration what we'll get, h is equal to I by 4 rho into bracket sine of alpha 2 minus sine of alpha 1 into a phi. So this is what, if you want to get any magnetic field intensity over a point due to a finite current segment, so this is the equation. I divided by 4 pi rho into bracket sine of alpha 2 minus sine of alpha 1 a phi. Okay, so next another example you can take. You can obtain the magnetic field from a current loop. So here you can observe the diagram here. So diagram is a current loop which is having a radius a. Consider a circular current loop of a radius a in a xy plane which carries a steady current I. We wish to find the magnetic field strength anywhere on the z-axis. So you can see over here. So you can see in the diagram. So here z-axis, it is z0 available, and according to Bayer-Saar's law you can use here h is equal to I dl cross AR divided by 4 pi r square. So now what is IDL in this case? As for a circuit loop, you can see in this figure IDL. So IDL is nothing but IA d phi a phi. IA d phi a phi, where A is a radius, d phi is a direction of that, and d phi is a differential length, differential value, and a phi is the direction. So what is R? It is the distance between the angular loop and Z. So root of a square plus z naught square. Now what is unit vector AR? Unit vector AR is nothing but unit vector AR is z naught az minus a rho divided by a square root of a square plus z naught square. So example will be continued. Substituting the previous expression, the Bayer-Saar's law becomes h is equal to 0 to 2 pi. 0 to 2 pi means there is nothing but the value of that circular loop, so range 0 to 2 pi. Now put the value of that is IDL. So IDL is nothing but IA d phi a phi cross product into bracket z naught az minus a rho divided by 4 pi a square plus z naught square raised to 3 by 2. After carrying out the cross product in the numerator, what will be just remaining is, you can observe in the equation, there is integration over 0 to 2 pi I a d phi into bracket z naught a rho plus a az. So divided by 4 pi a square plus z naught square raised to 3 by 2. Okay, so this is the equation we can get from the after doing the cross product. But we must include the angle dependency in the radial unit vector. So angle dependency, if you want to include, so we need to consider a rho, which is nothing but cos phi ax plus sin phi a phi. So with this substitution, the radial component will integrate to 0, meaning that all the radial components cancel on z-axis. So only example is continued now, only z components remains and the integral evaluates easily. So therefore only z components is remaining. So all 5 components, all remaining components are eliminated. So after that if you consider real components, then H is equal to I pi a square Az divided by 2 pi a square plus z naught square raised to 3 by 2 after integration. This is, and the radial components, all other radial components are cancelled apart from z axis components. So this is the equation we get from the field arise from the circular loop. Okay, so H is equal to I into bracket pi a square Az divided by 2 pi into bracket a square plus z naught square raised to 3 by 2. And one thing you can notice from the numerator, the product of current and loop area, we can define this as magnetic moment. So that is given by M is equal to I into pi a square into Az. So this is about the what we will discuss is about the magnetic field intensity. One is arise from the finite length which is there in the z-axis, and one more is along the infinite length which is also there in the z-axis, and one more is the due to the circular loop. So these three examples we have considered for a Biot-Savart's law, right? Now next we go to the Ampere circuit law. Okay, Ampere circuit law. So the Ampere circuit law is nothing but it states that the line integral of H, the line integral of magnetic field intensity about any closed path is exactly equal to the direct current enclosed by that path. So that is integration over closed, that is H dot dl is equal to I. So in the figure at the right, the integral of H about the closed path A and B gives the total current I. You can see the two figures are there, A and B. So there is a closed path which will give the integration over that closed path which will be given as total current I, while the integration over path C gives the only that portion of current that lies within the C, because that path is not closed. So this is what a statement of Ampere's current law, integration over closed surface H dot dl is equal to I, right? Now next, Ampere's law that is applied to one of the long wire. So one of the long wire if you can consider. So symmetry suggests that H will be always circular and constant value at a constant radius, right? So and centered on the z axis. Now choosing the path A and integrating H around the circle of radius rho gives us the enclosed current I. So you can see over path A. Now integration over closed surface, that is A, H dot dl is equal to integration, the limits will be 0 to 2 pi, as it is because the radius is 2 pi, so therefore circumference is 2 pi, so therefore H phi rho d phi. So the dl is rho d phi and H is H phi, right? So H phi rho integration over to 0 to 2 pi and d phi, we have to integrate over d phi. So if we integrate over d phi, you will get only just 2 pi. So therefore H phi 2 pi rho, so that is nothing but what you can get the value I, right? So here we can tell that H phi is equal to I divided by 2 pi rho as before. Okay, so this is about Ampere's law applied to the long wire. So this just what we are going to discuss. So just to review the what we all discussed. So startingly we have discussed about the magnetic forces between the two differential current elements, and also we have discussed about the magnetic field, and we have seen the statement about Biot-Savart's law, and also how we can use the Biot-Savart's law for the different cases, and also Ampere circuit's law, the statement. Thank you.